Are you filled with fear, doubt, worry about the future of our country? Do you feel the urgency to act before it's too late? If yes, then this podcast is for you. It's time for us to confront the critical issues threatening our nation's fabric, our democracy itself, regardless of our political stance. If you are ready to face reality, handle the tough questions, and find real solutions, then here's your host, Debilyn Molineaux.
Welcome to Terrified Nation, the podcast where we dive deep into the anxieties shaping our world and explore how we can navigate them together. I'm your host, Debilyn Molineaux, and each episode we confront the fear-driven narratives that hold us captive and search for ways to break free. And today we're talking about something that's very personal: how power, fear, and survival instincts shape our lives, and how embracing chaos might just be the key to something better. So I grew up in a home where fear had a seat at the table. My stepfather ruled with a heavy hand, and his anger was fueled by alcohol. Breaking his rules or standing up to him meant harsh punishment, the kind that would be called child abuse today. I remember one time that he got out of control and hit me, and that scar lasted for 40 years before it finally faded. It was only as an adult that I learned my mother had stepped in to stop the physical punishment, and for that I'm deeply grateful. And despite the turmoil at home, I was actually lucky because I had two other places, other homes that were filled with warmth and acceptance, where I could just be myself. These homes were my refuge, and they showed me something powerful, that I had options. At home, I played a role to survive. In my safe places, I could breathe and laugh and exist without fear. Looking back, I see now how I was caught in this tug of war between adults who held power. As a child, I believed that I had control and that I was making my own choices. But in truth, I was really a pawn in the adult game. Even at 5 years old, something inside of me kept pushing back. I didn't decide to defy my stepfather consciously. It was instinct. And my little brain understood that my best chance at survival was to claim power for myself. If you grew up with a tyrannical parent, what role did you play to get through it? And is that role still shaping your life today? I won't list every battle and every sneaky rebellion, but I will tell you this. I left home at 17, convinced that I could take on the world. I was ready to fight for my independence. And the world had other ideas. Everywhere I turned, at work, in friendships, in love, there were new people trying to dominate me. And I fought back in the way that I had learned. And I played my own power games using emotional manipulation instead of brute force, because that was control disguised as cleverness. And then I found advertising. In that world, manipulation wasn't just accepted, it was rewarded. And I was really good at it. I wrote ads, I bought media, I sold dreams to people that they didn't really need, promising happiness if only they bought the right product or service. And sometimes I used fear of being left out, fear of not measuring up, and it worked. The money was good, and the perks were even better, funding our social life with free tickets to concerts and trips. But after 13 years, my soul felt battered. So I walked away. I chose a new path, dedicating my life to the common good. The pay was low, and the road was really hard. And my marriage didn't survive it. But I stopped fighting for power and started searching for ways to help everyone feel empowered. And here's what I know now. The struggle for dominance never ends. One person, one company, one country wins today, and another takes the lead tomorrow. It's this endless cycle, a doom loop that never delivers safety or peace. Power for the sake of control is a false promise. And yet here we are, living in a world where fear is the weapon of choice. And those who seek power use our fear to keep us compliant, to mold the world to their vision. And when power plays out on a grand scale, domination always wins. Now, back in 2018, I wrote about chaos theory, and this is part of that blog. Order becomes stagnation, and chaotic behavior emerges as a way to get unstuck. And it's turbulent. Yep, we got that in society today. That was 2018, and here it's only gotten worse. So to escape this cycle of power and domination, we actually need a new game with new rules. Rules that embrace chaos as a force for change rather than as a destructive force. A shift is happening in the way we understand social systems. Instead of looking at these big sweeping models, researchers are now exploring how small individual actions shape the larger whole. By focusing on choices and behaviors of individuals, we can see new possibilities emerge, organic, unpredictable, and yet full of potential. It's also called the butterfly effect. So I ended my 2018 essay with this thought. Rather than fear chaos, I now see it as part of the natural order. Our old system was stagnating and breaking down. Our social contract is up for renewal. We need to accept our individual responsibility with awareness of the whole system in which we live. So let's do that. Let's step into this moment with open eyes and steady hearts. Let's commit, not to power or not to dominance, but to each other, to build something better together. If this episode has resonated with you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. And let's keep the conversation going. You can find me on social media at Debilyn M, or visit terrifiednation.com for more episodes and ways to get involved. Stay curious, stay brave, and let's create a future worth fighting for. Join me next time.
So that's it for today's episode of Terrified Nation. Head on over to iTunes or wherever you listen to subscribe to the show. You can get advance notice of new episodes and bonus content by signing up. Head over to terrifiednation.com and join us on the next episode.